Hello friends, in this video I'm going to discuss about bounded and unbounded sequence. A sequence is bounded if it is bounded above as well as it is bounded below. So first we come to bounded above sequence. A sequence AN is said to be bounded above if there exists a real number k such that AN is less than or equal to k for every n belonging to natural number. Means if every term of the sequence is less than or equal to some real number k, that is the range of the sequence is bounded above. Here in this case, this k is called the upper bound of the sequence an, and if this real number k exists such that every term of the sequence is less than or equal to this k, then in that case the sequence an is said to be bounded above. This is bounded above sequence. For example, the sequence an defined by an is equal to minus n. An is equal to minus n is bounded above. Is bounded above. Means there exists a real number k such that every term of the sequence is less than or equal to k. Here an is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on, and clearly an is less than or equal to minus 1 for every n belonging to n. Minus 1 is less than or equal to minus 1, minus 2 is less than minus 1, minus 3 is less than minus 1, and all terms after this are less than or after minus 3 is less than minus 1. That means an is less than or equal to minus 1. Therefore, the sequence an where nth term is an is equal to minus n is bounded above. Okay, means there exists a real number k, here k is minus 1, such that every term of the sequence is less than or equal to minus 1. This is the definition of bounded above sequence. Clear? Same way we have bounded below sequence. A sequence an is said to be bounded below. If there exists a real number k such that an is greater than or equal to k. Small k, that is every term of the sequence is greater than or equal to that k for every n belonging to natural number, that is the range of the sequence is bounded below. Every term of the sequence is greater than or equal to k, then in that case we say a sequence is bounded below. Okay, and in that case this k is called the lower bound of the sequence. Clear? This k is called the lower bound of the sequence an. This k is called the lower bound of the sequence an. For example, the sequence an defined by an is equal to n is bounded below. Here an is 1, 2, 3 and so on, and clearly an is greater than or equal to 1 for every n belonging to n. All the terms of the sequence an are greater than or equal to 1. 1 is greater than or equal to 1, 2 is greater than 1, 3 is greater than 1, and every term after 3 is greater than 1. That means here we have this real number k is here 1, small k is 1, such that every term of the sequence an is greater than or equal to 1. This k is called the lower bound. Here 1 is the lower bound. Clear? The sequence an defined by an is equal to n is bounded below. This is the definition of bounded below sequence. Clear? Now we have bounded sequence. A sequence is said to be bounded if it is bounded above as well as bounded below. If it is both bounded above and bounded below, means there exists small k and greater than k such that every term of the sequence is lies between, or k is less than or equal to an is less than or equal to k, capital K, then the sequence is said to be bounded. It is bounded above as well as bounded below. Okay, that is if the range of the sequence is bounded. Means every term of the sequence is less than equal to capital K and greater than equal to small k. Then the sequence is said to be bounded sequence. Clear? And if the sequence is not bounded, then it is said to be unbounded. If a sequence is not bounded, then in that case the sequence is said to be unbounded sequence. Clear? Let us consider some examples. Now first consider the sequence. The sequence an defined by an is equal to 1 by n. Now an is equal to 1 by n, that is the sequence an is 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4, so on. Now here the sequence is defined like this: 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 4. Okay, now clearly after 1 all terms are getting less than 1. Okay, therefore here we have 0 less than an less than equal to 1. I can write like this: every term after 1 is less than 1, and also it is n is an is defined as 1 by n, so all the terms are greater than 0, no doubt here. And also we have an is less or equal to 1. Okay, that means this is small k, this is greater than this is greater capital K, sorry, this is small k, this is capital K. That means we have two bonds here, lower bound and the upper bound here. This is small k, this is capital K. Therefore this sequence is bounded below as well as bounded above. Clear? Bounded above by 1, bounded below by 0. That means the sequence is bounded. Clear? The sequence is bounded. This implies sequence is bounded. Clear? Same way, if I consider the sequence an defined by an is equal to minus 1 power n. Okay, the sequence an defined by an is equal to minus 1 power n. Then the sequence will be, if n is 1, minus 1 power 1, that is minus 1, then 1, minus 1, 1. Okay, now here sequence is like this: minus 1 less than equal to an less than equal to 1. Okay, terms are minus 1 to 1. Okay, so I can write like this: minus 1 is the lower bound and 1 is the upper bound. Clear? For all n belonging to n. Okay, now every term is less than or equal to minus 1. Minus 1 is less than or equal to minus 1. 1 is greater than minus 1. Then minus 1 is equal to minus 1. 1 is greater than 1 minus 1. Same way, minus 1 is less than 1. 1 is equal to 1. Minus 1 is equal to 1. 1 is equal to 1. Means every term of the sequence lies between minus 1 and 1. Okay. So this is the lower bound, this is the upper bound. Again here sequence is bounded. Clear? Sequence is bounded. Clear? Same way, if I consider the example, the sequence an defined by an is equal to minus 1 power n minus 1 divided by n factorial. Then the sequence will be, an will be, here if I take n to be 1, 1 minus 1, 0, that means 1, then 2, 2 minus 1, minus 1 upon 2 factorial, then 1 by 3 factorial, minus 1 by 4 factorial, and so on. Okay, that is, this is 1, this is minus 1 by 2, minus 0.5, then 1 by 3 factorial, that is 1 by 6, it is 0.17, Then minus 1 upon 4 factorial, that is minus 1 by 24. This will be minus 0.04, like this. Okay. Now here 1 is the, after 1 all terms are less than 1, I can say here. First consider the positive terms, that is 1, here 0.17. Same way we will be getting the numbers, real numbers which are less than 1. Therefore 1 is the upper bound, I can say. Okay, that means an is less than or equal to 1. I can write like this. Clear? Now here if I take the negative or the negative real numbers, here we have minus 0.5, then minus 0.04, a number greater than minus 0.5. Okay, same way all numbers after this are more than minus 0.5. Okay, so I can write like this, minus 0.5 here. That means the terms lies between minus 0.5 and 1. I can write like this. That means this is the lower bound, this is the upper bound. Again here sequence is bounded. Sequence is bounded. Clear? Okay. Next, the sequence an defined by and the term is an is equal to minus 1 power n into n. Then the sequence will be 1, that is minus 1, then 2, then minus 3, then 4, then minus 5, then 6. This will be the sequence. Okay. Now here in the sequence, from this it is clear that here we have, if I take the negative real numbers, negative numbers first, this is minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, means the negative real numbers are decreasing and the positive ones 2, 4, 6, they are increasing. Means here we are unable to find any k, small or capital, such that an lies between that two real numbers. Okay, here there exists no real k, small or capital, such that we have this. Okay, there exists no real k, small as well as capital, such that an lies between k and k. Okay, that means the sequence is neither bounded below nor bounded above. Okay, the sequence is neither bounded above nor bounded below. Okay, clear? Okay, it is clear. Means a sequence is bounded if it is bounded above as well as bounded below. Okay, clear? Now next we have a result. We come to the theorem. A sequence an is bounded if and only if means both way round, there exists a positive real number capital M such that mod an less than equal to M for every n belonging to natural number. Okay, means for a sequence an to be bounded, we have if and only if there exists a positive real number capital M such that mod an is less than or equal to M for every n belonging to natural number. Let us prove this theorem. First, the necessary part. Let the sequence an be bounded. Okay, first part. Now we have to prove there exists a positive real number M such that mod an is less than or equal to M for every n belonging to n. Okay, we want to prove this. And we have assumed that sequence an is bounded. Now sequence an is bounded, then by definition sequence an is bounded above as well as bounded below. Okay, means then there exist two real numbers h and k such that we have this h is less than or equal to a n less than or equal to k for every n belonging to natural number. Mark this as 1. Okay, since it is bounded below as well as bounded above. Clear? Okay, now h and k are real numbers. They may be positive or they may be negative. So let capital M be maximum of mod h and mod k. Okay, we have defined our capital M as the maximum of mod h or mod k. Let us define capital M like this. Okay, we have taken here mod because h and k are real numbers. They may be positive, they may be negative. And M is the maximum of positive h and k. Clear? Then mod h is less than or equal to M and mod k is less than or equal to M. By this. Okay. This implies, by definition of mod, this is minus m less than equal to h less than equal to m, and minus m is less than or equal to k less than or equal to m. Okay, this is the definition of mod. Okay, my h m is minus m is less than equal to h less than equal to m, and minus m is less than equal to k less than equal to m. Clear? Now mark this as 2. Now from 1 and from 2. From 1 and 2. We have minus m is less than equal to h here. And h is less than equal to an less than equal to k. Then using this inequality, k is less than or equal to m. Clear? For all n belonging to n. Clear? Now, this implies minus m is less than or equal to an less than equal to m. That is, mod an is less than or equal to m. For all n belonging to natural numbers. Clear? Okay. That was we wanted to prove mod an is less than or equal to m for every n belonging to natural number. Hence prove the necessary part. Clear? Now we come to the sufficient part. Now we move to sufficient part. Okay. Now sufficient part. Suppose there exists a positive real number m such that mod an is less than or equal to m for every n belonging to natural number. Okay, to prove sequence an is bounded, that is bounded above as well as bounded below. Okay, that we want to prove. Okay, now from this mod an is less than or equal to m, by definition we have minus m is less than or equal to an less than or equal to capital M. Okay, minus m less than equal to an less than equal to m for every n belonging to natural number. Okay, and from this it is clear that sequence an is bounded. Okay, minus m is a lower bound, m is a upper bound. That means by definition sequence an is bounded. Hence proved the sufficient part also. Clear? Means a sequence is bounded if and only if there exists a positive real number m such that mod an is less than or equal to m for every n belonging to natural number. Clear? Now we come to next topic, least upper bound and greatest lower bound. First, the least upper bound. If a sequence an is bounded above, then by definition there exists a real number k1 such that an is less than or equal to k1 for every n belonging to natural number. This is by definition. Then here k1 is called the upper bound of the sequence. Now if k2 is any number greater than k1, any real number greater than k1, then an is less than k2 for every n belonging to natural number. Then again by definition k2 is called the upper bound of the sequence. Means if k1 is the upper bound of the sequence, then any number which is greater than k1 is also an upper bound. Any number greater than k1 is also an upper bound of the sequence. That means if a sequence is bounded above, then it has infinitely many number of upper bounds. Clear? Now, out of all these upper bounds, the least one or the minimum one is called the least upper bound. Of all the upper bounds of the sequence, if k is the least, then k is called the least upper bound of the sequence. This is least upper bound. Clear? Okay. Now, if k is least upper bound of the sequence, then this k has following properties. Okay. K has following properties. If k is the least upper bound, then k has the following properties. Let us write those properties of least upper bound. Okay. First, it is an upper bound. It is an upper bound of the sequence. That is, an is less than or equal to k for every n belonging to natural number. Clear? Second, given epsilon positive, however small, k minus epsilon will be less than k. Okay. Now since k is least upper bound and k minus epsilon is less than k, that means, and k is a least upper bound, that means k minus epsilon cannot be upper bound. Okay, since among all the upper bounds k is the least one and k minus epsilon is less than k, that means k minus epsilon cannot be upper bound. Okay, since k is least upper bound, k minus epsilon, which is less than k, is not even a upper bound. Is not even an upper bound. Since if it is a upper bound, then k minus epsilon will become the least one. But it is given k is the least upper bound. Therefore, no real number less than k can be a upper bound. Okay. Now, since k epsilon is positive, k minus epsilon is less than k. Since k is least upper bound, k minus epsilon is not even an upper bound. Clear? That is, there exists at least one positive integer, say m, such that an is not less than or equal to k minus epsilon. That is am is greater than k minus epsilon. Okay. Means this k minus epsilon is not an upper bound, means there exists at least one positive integer m such that am is not less than or equal to k minus epsilon. These two are the properties of least upper bound. Clear? Am is not less than or equal to k minus epsilon means what? Am is greater than k minus epsilon means there exists at least one term in the sequence which is greater than k minus epsilon. Okay, am is one of the term in the sequence, means there exists at least one positive integer m such that am, one of the term of the sequence, is greater than k minus epsilon. Clear? Next we have greatest lower bound. Clear? Now here, if a sequence an is bounded below, then there exists a real number k1 such that k1 is less than or equal to an. That is by definition of lower bound. Okay, k1 is less than or equal to an. Then here k1 is called the lower bound of the sequence. Now, if k2 is less than k1, if k2 is less than k1, then k2 is less than an, and then by definition k2 will be a lower bound of the sequence, means any number which is less than k1, where k1 is a lower bound, is again a lower bound of the sequence. Means if a sequence is bounded below, then we have infinitely many number of lower bounds. Clear? Therefore, if a sequence is bounded below, it has infinitely many lower bounds. Infinitely many lower bounds. Clear? Infinitely many lower bounds. Clear? Now, out of all these lower bounds, the greatest one is called the greatest lower bound. Of all the lower bounds of the sequence, if k is the greatest, then k is called the greatest lower bound of the sequence. Clear? Now, this greatest lower bound has following properties. K, which is greatest lower bound, has the following properties. Okay, first one, k is lower bound of the sequence, that is k is less than or equal to an for every n belonging to natural number. And second, given epsilon positive, k plus epsilon is greater than k. Okay, if I take any epsilon positive, however small it may be, k plus epsilon is more than k, and k is the greatest lower bound, and k plus epsilon is more than k. That means k plus epsilon cannot be even a lower bound. Okay, since k plus epsilon is more than k and k is the greatest lower bound, k plus epsilon is not even a lower bound. Okay, since k is greatest lower bound, k plus epsilon is not even a lower bound, Okay, otherwise it will become a greatest lower bound. Clear? And this will imply there exists at least one positive integer m such that k plus epsilon is not less than or equal to am. That is k plus epsilon is greater than am, or am is less than k plus epsilon. Clear? Okay, this is greatest lower bound. Clear? Okay, now that's it for this video. If you have any queries or any suggestions, please write to me in comment box. Thank you.